Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. I am your melanated queen, and today we will be discussing a number of different topics. I hope everybody is having a good evening. Right now, das Wetter regnet, okay? It is another rainy day right here. But that's okay because we're still blessed. I'm still here. Everybody, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you have your ability to hear. Give thanks to the universe. Let's do that for a moment. Give thanks that you're able to see, that you're able to walk, that you're able to talk, that even though things might not be going in your favor, you still have food to eat. You still have air that you can breathe. Your lungs are operating on their own. We have so much to be thankful for. Even though I know people try to bring us down the best way they can, guess what? The universe still has your back. The universe is not going to let you fall. Nor is the universe going to deny you access into what's meant for you to have in your life. So just remember that. We are going through adversities. There are some people that I know personally that are going through it. And so that's why I wanted to start this video off with positivity. We need as much as that as possible because there are spirits and there are entities and there are beings out here and forces that are working against us. And so I just want to let you know, don't give it your energy, don't give it your power. The less you feed it, the less than it can exists, and the less that it has energy to thrive. So anyway, let's get into some topics for today. I want to get into, and I'm sorry, I gotta bring this up for my melanated people out there. I want to know, why is it that females, and I'm going to speak about it, why do our melanated females feel the need to bring each other down? And I hate to address it, but this is a topic that affects us so immensely. And it's very concerning because we do not have the ability to afford nor the luxury to sit here and work against one another. This needs to stop. And no matter how much we keep talking about it, no matter how much we find this happening, nobody puts a stop to this. Why is it that our melanated queens are out here competing with one another? A lot of times the next person has not much more than what you have, and what they have achieved, they've worked so hard to achieve it. Why do you feel the need to bring another melanated individual down? This saddens me. You have people out here in your family that could be your cousin. You come from the same DNA. And guess what? They want to see your downfall. They can't stand to see you succeed in anything that you do. Where's all of this hatred coming from? So let's take it back for a minute, because I know you're all going to say, oh yeah, that comes from slavery. But if you identify the issue, then why continue to feed the issue? Enough is enough. Enough with the excuses, you all. And I'm talking to our melanated people right now because this needs to really stop. I got into a conversation, I believe, earlier this morning with someone, and we were discussing the fact that the kids are out of school and they've been stripped of their education early. And in school, what goes on? And if you're all familiar with the Kissinger report that I read on my earlier videos, then you all are aware of the indoctrination that occurs. They've planned this situation way far beyond the 80s. The Kissinger report was introduced in 1974. So let's talk about it for a second. I'm just going to freestyle some issues for you all. And if you have a topic or you have a concern that you'd like to speak about, just let me know. I welcome your opinions. I welcome your comments. I love the love. Share it, spread it. We all need that. When kids are in school, and I remember this happened to me when I was in Germany, 4th grade. Do you know what we did for history? I guess you would call it social studies class. We were watching slave movies, you all. Now, I would think that you would need your parents' permission to even introduce or interject something like that to a child. Do you know the psychological trauma that impedes upon the brain, seeing those images? as an 8-year-old, as a 9-year-old in elementary school? Do you think that's even healthy psychologically, mentally, emotionally to introduce to children? Seeing people get whipped, seeing people in chains, seeing people shackled, seeing people oppressed, seeing people in pain, seeing people in agony, seeing people in distress, seeing people in dire straits. So right there, that tells you what they meant to do at the tender age of being in elementary school. Everybody, it is a shame and it is an atrocity, to say the least, that they would even have something like that in a public education system. So let's just take a moment and think about that. What does that do to the mind of a child when you're sitting in class and most of your colleagues don't look like you? Okay, let's make that very clear, first of all. And they're the opposite of you. What does that tell a child at the age of 8 and 9 years old? What do you think in your head? You think as a child, why did my people suffer? Why did my people come from slavery? Why did we have to come from that? What is it so bad about us that we suffered to this magnitude, to this degree? And as you see your counterparts who don't look like you watching the same thing that you're watching, and you look at them wondering why did they have it better than you? That's exactly what they want to implement into your children's heads. This is exactly what they feed your children's brains, their vision. Their ears are listening to these things. And so basically, subconsciously, they're feeding subconsciously, they're feeding the hopelessness, disempowerment. They're telling your child that basically they came from slaves. And we know this is all not true. Let's think about how people came over here. Yes, some people may have come over on a ship, but for the most part, with those type of boats and that type of technology back then, you tell me how many thousands of people really came in on a ship if they were getting sick, okay, and tortured. A lot of things that have been taught to us have been lies, you people. A lot of our people, melanated beings, that were already here. They were already in existence in North America, in South America, in Asia, in Europe, everywhere. We were around this entire globe, around this entire planet, okay? For those of you who believe in the flat earth, it doesn't matter. We had this land first. We were already here. So don't believe this information that has been fed to you all. All of us did not come here on a ship. A lot of us were already here. Ask your grandparents, ask your parents. What do they tell you? How did they get the acres of land that some of your grandparents have? I wonder why would they have this land? How did they get it? You know, so I just want to say that is a troubling situation, to have children that young to be introduced to something that tragic. And yes, I am going to compare it to the Jewish Holocaust, because we learned about that too when I was in Germany. And it is a shameful thing that people would torture one another in such a shameful manner. It doesn't matter what your nationality, what your ethnic background, what your origins are. The savagery in people that can do that to someone is nothing to be paraded around or paraded in front of your face in a video in elementary school. Okay? So I would just want to encourage my melanated parents to please make sure that whatever you're feeding your children is truthful and honest and righteous and upright. Let them know about the people in history that really helped empower our people. A lot of people are not familiar with Marcus Garvey. I wasn't familiar with him until I became grown. I didn't know about Gaddafi until my sister told me about one of his documentaries. And so every time I heard his name in the media, I always associated with him with being evil. Why is that? Why is it that the media can paint a picture for you and people believe anything that's put in front of them? It is shameful, people, that they are introducing these type of things to the children. They are telling your kids that they come from slavery, and they do not. They are little goddesses. They are little divine beings. They are warriors. They are queens. They are little kings. They are little princes. They are little princesses. Okay? They are spiritual beings that have come back through ancestry. Okay? Warriors in the making. So make no mistake about it. What you see in front of you, these children that are being born today, they don't have a slave mentality. Listen to the way they talk. Listen to their creativity level. Listen to their ideas, their imagination. I should read to you something that I heard. And this is an 8-year-old. And as a matter of fact, when I go and I retrieve my laptop, I'm going to share that with you. So just a moment, I might have to turn this off and I'm coming right back. Let me share with you the divinity that runs through the veins of an 8-year-old born in 2011, you all. And I told him, I said, I am going to document this because I heard him telling the story. And the way that his imagination works is like he's been here before. Universes of two. This is exactly what he entitled this. Universes of two. Who would even think that there are two universes? Most of us think there's one. He said, once upon a time, there were two universes, and no one knew about the second universe. The second universe was a mystery place. Anything could go on as long as he says it could happen. He's talking about himself. Who is he? He said, you'll see in the story. Well, I'll give you this. He is the one of the second universe, the hero and the creator. So he's already looking at himself as an 8-year-old, as a hero and a creator, you all. He didn't envision himself as a person coming from slavery, oppressed, in agony and pain, like they showed me in 4th grade at the age of 8 or 9 years old when I was living in Germany. That's not what he sees. The second paragraph. He started this entire universe as a kid, and he didn't even know it. So right there, he's telling you that he can create anything that he wants. Okay? He can create anything that he wants. He gets that concept. A lot of adults don't even grasp that concept. Quantum physics, you all. And so kids already come in this world with a metaphysical level of understanding and a quantum physics understanding. I'm not making this up. Coming from an 8-year-old. I was actually recording him, so I can play this back so you can hear it. It says, but when he did not know that he created this universe, he couldn't find a way to get to the universe. See? So he was trapped, you all. So this is deep. This is deeper than a lot of adults. Then, in his drawing, he said something about a super watch that he made to turn into whatever he wanted. He just had to save his super lucky drawing. A super watch. So what is the connection with time there? Okay? And what is the connection with drawing and creation? See, he's already making a correlation right there. Once he had his super lucky drawing, all he had to do was to say it will happen, and then it would happen. So he believes already in the power of words, the power of himself. That, you all, is so powerful. And I was so impressed when I listened to this. He says that watch could also turn into a portal gun. At 8 years old, he knows about portals. You all, I'm just so amazed because I'm going to be honest, a lot of adults don't know what a portal is. That watch could also turn into a portal gun, and that is the way he said he would get to the universe in his drawing. Impressive. That watch could not only turn into that, but it could also turn into multiple things, you all. It could turn into a super sword, a laser gun, and even a glider. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and tell him some more about this universe. So like I said, he was the creator of it. He's talking about himself. He was the creator of the universe. He was the master of it. So see, he actually realizes that he's the master of his own universe, you all. This is, again, coming from an 8-year-old child. And this is so impressive. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this kid's name right now, and his name is Tamari. Tamari, I just want to let you know, sweetheart, I'm so proud of you. His initials was TAG, and I think he liked to play tag. He said some friends he used to play with, and the universe we all know of. So that is how he ended that story, and I read that excerpt for you. It was just 3 paragraphs that I wrote on his behalf as he was speaking this out, because I wanted you to understand the dynamics of a child's mind is extremely powerful. It is untainted, and it has no limits until that indoctrination steps in. So that's why I'm speaking about the slave movies, because when you start introducing that into a child's brain at that young, vulnerable, impressionable age that are like sponges. We've all learned in psychology that the children's brain is like a sponge. They learn so swiftly, so fast. They have a vast amount of learning power, and it's actually more powerful than an adult because they are formulating synapses. The neurons are triggering and firing off. Of course, as adults, we have no capacity on how much we can learn, but we don't make that type of we don't make these types of correlations as adults. Our synapses does not fire off like they do as a child. So a lot of things slows down as you become older, because our brains in a sense becomes kind of cluttered like a computer. We have so many things that we focus on. We have so many distractions. People are distracted with jobs, with a bunch of frivolous matters that mean nothing. Other people's business is one thing, but as a child, you don't really run into having to pay bills. You don't have to worry about providing a way of life. You have nothing but free time, nothing but your creative imagination. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a powerful time. So I would just say to anybody out there, when you hear your children speaking, embrace those things about them, because that really is their power. And if an 8-year-old can think of this, imagine, what a lot of children can think about. Just listen to them, and don't take what they say for granted. Don't pass judgment on them. Be careful with what you tell your child. Be careful what you introduce them to. Just like an adult, we need to be careful what we introduce ourselves to. And that's why I think it's so important that we take away a lot of the negativity in our lives. A lot of the people that want to give you negative vibes, negative energy, take away who you are. And this is another thing I want to say to my melanated queens out here. A lot of you are on jobs that don't appreciate your work. Okay, you have an immaculate work ethic. I know this for a fact. An immaculate work ethic, because you're trying to provide for yourself and your kids. And guess what? You have a supervisor, you have a manager, you have a co-worker, you have associates who are trying to cause you mischief, who are trying to antagonize you, who are harassing you, who are mistreating you mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and that's affecting you physically. And I'm just here to tell you that you are so talented. You are born here with gifts. You are a spiritual being. You are so creative, and you have so many things to share with this world. I want you to take this time and focus and hone in on your creative abilities and make money off your gifts and talents. Some of you are nice looking women. Some of you could be models out there. Some of you are so beautiful and stunning, and guess what? People use that to mistreat you because they're jealous of it. So don't take that as a downfall. Take that as you should make money off of something you were born with. If the Creator made you beautiful, the Creator made you, you could be a hair model. You could be many different things. A hand model. You might have beautiful feet. Be a foot model. There are many different ways to make money in this world. You don't have to stay on a job where you're unappreciated, where you're underpaid, where you're mistreated. And you don't have to sustain such harsh treatment. And you don't have to be underpaid. You never know where your gifts and your talents and your just natural abilities and the gifts that you were born with, how that will take you so much further in life. I want you to embrace those things. I want you to exercise your talents. I want you to hone your creative abilities. And I want you to start networking with other people and making money, you all. It's not worth it. These jobs are not worth your stress. They're not worth you having medical problems. There are people that I have heard of. This guy had a heart attack at his desk and it's a very public bank that has credit cards. You all may know the name starts with the C. How do I know? Because someone that I know works there and told me about it. The ambulance kept coming to several places. People were passing out of stress. People having panic attacks at the desk. Where they do that at? Who said? When did our divine creator say that if we're made in our creator's image, if you're made in the image of God, when did God say you have to suffer just to have a way of life? And that's what I want to leave you all with. I'm not going to hold you much longer. I just wanted to share that message with you. Let's see. I'm going to try to think of a German phrase for you. Let's see. Ich liebe dich. Of course, I already said that means I love you. Alles gut. That means all is good. Wie geht's? That means what's up? How are you? Tschüss. I'm just gonna close it out like that. Auf Wiedersehen. Basically, I'm letting you know I'm signing off. Goodbye. And juice, that's the informal way of saying bye. So thank you so much for listening to me with another episode of Brown Girls Are Beautiful. All my melanated queens, stay powerful. All my melanated kings, take care of these queens out here. And all the little princes and princesses become the warriors and the queens and the goddesses that you were meant to be. So divinely designed. Stay beautiful, you all, and blessings to you. Wanted to share this with you. This was actually recorded May 8th, 2020, and I'm going to play it for you so you can hear this coming from this little king's mouth himself.
Go ahead, sweetie. Keep telling me about the universe. Go ahead, sweetie. Keep telling me about the universe.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this kid's name right now. And it was Tamari.
Okay. I like that.
His initial, his tag. I think the reason he liked to play tag. I think it was because of initial.
And you can hear him.
He had some friends that he used to play with. In the universe we all know of. Look at all of that Tamari that you have written there.
Okay. So it was some background noises, but that is coming from Tamari's own imagination, you all. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you so much.